Hello and welcome back to Gaming Verdict. I'm joined here by the one, the only, WePC's finest, Elliot Smith.
Good evening.
I hyped you up so much then, I thought I would expect more than just good evening, but here we are. So we are going to be playing the Avengers beta. So me and Elliot both took place in the beta last weekend, but if you look to your screen, you'll see that Elliot is level 9 and I'm level 2, and that's because I encountered the issue of the first mission constantly rebooting itself. So after I played the game for a good 9 or 10 hours, my next play session was actually corrupted and I wasn't able to play it, so I had to completely delete my save, so I have to start again from the beginning, which is not what we want. However, Square Enix have been very, very good on fixing the issues with the game, and this is our second playthrough, so we're going to go play it again, and we're going to see if these fixes have been, well, fixed basically. So I'm going to be playing as Iron Man, as that was who I've basically had most fun with whilst playing the beta, and you're going to be playing Hulk, am I right?
Yeah, I'm going to be playing Hulk because they thought that it'd be hilarious that the skinniest guy in the office would be the Hulk, so here we are.
So I guess we may as well start from your pros and cons of the game.
Yeah, so I guess my pros is how relieved I was to play it, because I had a lot of criticism leading up to it. I was very vocal that I hated the way this looked and I didn't think they'd put justice, but actually playing it, it's not a bad looking game. Like it's middle of the road. I think a lot of people had expectations that they wanted to see, you know, Chris Hemsworth models and Steve Rogers as whoever his name was. Chris Evans, that's the one. But it was a case that, you know, playing it, you don't really notice it. It's one of those things, it's a decent character model, it's not the worst in the world. And the gameplay's fun, you know, once you get past the first level and you unlock everything and you tear up. And that's the whole point, because you're going to start out at a low level. But once you've started getting into it and earn your stripes, it becomes a lot more fun when you unlocked a lot more stuff. So I can't really argue with it.
I feel like you've said the character models aren't too noticeable, because I mean obviously they're bringing old skins and stuff, so eventually the things that people want will be in the game. However, one thing that is very noticeable and I can't avoid is their voice acting. It's just
oh yeah, but then you do have Nolan North, so it kind of makes up for that.
Yeah, I don't know, like it's very distracting. It really is. But honestly, you could just turn it off and put subtitles on. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Like you can get around it. But my I guess the thing that I was most excited for, and the thing that I think they've done right, is the gearing system and the loot system. Like I'm a sucker for a loot shooter. I'm a big Destiny fan, so I really appreciated that they added that in. I don't know if that was their original plan, but it makes the game a lot more exciting being able to specialize your equipment. I know towards the end game you can start getting legendary gear. In the beta there's some previews of some legendary gear, and it means that you can, you know, build your character the way that you want to. If your friend is playing Iron Man and you're playing Iron Man, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the exact same character. It just means that, you know, the way that you build your character is going to be completely different to them. You'll notice that they are stronger in certain ways and you're stronger in certain ways, and it'll be good. And I've only really played Iron Man. I've played the other characters, but I just really enjoy Iron Man most. I wanted to play 4, but he's not in the beta, despite all the advertisements saying that he was going to be in the beta, but I think they might have got their copywriting wrong on that one.
You won't see copywriting issues at Gaming Verdict, you see. We delete them before you notice.
But yeah, I think one of the greatest elements of the game, I think, is the looter system. And I was also worried when I first played the first mission. I was getting a bit, I mean, from the get-go, I was like, oh no, the combat feels awful. I can't do this. But then they introduced the skills, and then I was like, oh god, I've just completely missed an enemy with my laser beam. There is currently a guy on A flag. It's not Call of Duty. I was really worried about the combat, but then when I started to play it and realised that there's this massive skill tree, it kind of restored my faith in it a little bit more. And it's a lot more fun. Because, like, for example, I've just unlocked ability now where I can slam down as Iron Man, and that wasn't there from the beginning. So it's great knowing that you've got this customization to your character and you can make them play however you want, which is always great. Because one of the best things about games like this is showing your character off to your friends, and then you can compare and contrast. Like, oh, I play Iron Man, I've got this legendary item, it makes her do this, and you'd be like, oh, I've never thought about that, I'll add it to mine kind of thing. So yeah, it's good. I think what you said earlier was true. You know, we want to play 4, we want to play like, you know, all the other characters that are going to be involved in the game, but then it kind of just doesn't leave you anything left to look forward to, because I know everyone's been maxing their characters out at level 20 and power level 45. There's people who've sank like 40-50 hours into this beta. If they had the ability to do that on all of the characters, they're going to go into the game and be burnt out already. So at least it gives you kind of a new character to try out, because people have probably, you know, got all the skills that they've got. So when they go in, if they maxed out Iron Man, for example, and then they go into the full game and they plan on playing Iron Man, they'd probably be like, I've done everything now, I don't really care kind of thing. So it's good that they've kind of limited it a little bit. You know, it allows you to have that fresh feel once you go into the full game. So you can't complain.
See, in the first mission, I loved playing as Captain America. He just seemed like the best one to play with. Thor, again, really, really fun. But yeah, like Captain America, I'd like to play like as Black Widow. I think the more I sort of see her in action, the more I do want to play as her. And it is just one of them things, you know, like, we'll see what happens when the game comes out.
I think the thing is I noticed this, I was looking through Twitter, because, you know, I've got to stay up to date with the news. Follow Gaming Verdict on Twitter if you haven't already. I seen quite a lot of tweets about Black Widow, because she was, to me, in the first sequence where you get to play as like 4 or 5 of the characters, she was quite boring. I was like, all I'm doing is shooting, and that's really, really all there is. And I was like, is this her entire set of skills? What's going on? And then I realised that she's not. She's actually meant to be really one of the better characters, actually. I've just found a trampoline. That's rather random. You step on this purple thing, you can very much just do some jumpy jumps. I've seen on Twitter that people who have played this game and gone to endgame and got legendary weapons, that apparently she has the best move and skill set for kind of endgame optimization. So it'll be interesting to, okay, there's a big tank, to see what she will be like towards the endgame.
I'm about to be damned, I think, because I've come and tried to take on all of these people by myself.
I'm coming to you, don't worry. This is a big mission. The last one was very quick, and this seems like a very large mission. But I am on my way. Very slowly, considering I'm Iron Man and I do fly.
See, Hulk's got this thing called Rage. Right, so it's a green, like, filter bar like you do have. And it basically makes him impregnable or something.
It's definitely not impregnable.
You don't know what the Hulk's up to in his spare time. It's like when you get on The Witcher or anything like that, and you sit there and you're like upgrading, because you can upgrade it. But I've upgraded the ranged attacks, I've upgraded the heavy attacks, and I've upgraded a few of the grav attacks. And I feel like that is just the way it's going to go. Like, no one's going to upgrade rage, because I kind of forget about it a little bit.
I don't know though, because when rage gives you more damage, and then the damage that you do heals you, right? I think when it comes to builds, like, there'll be like a straight out DPS build where it's just maximizing force damage output. But then I feel like there'll be those builds that makes him like a self-healing tank, where he'll just be absolutely unkillable. She'll do less damage, but it depends what you want to do. If you want to just do straight out damage and just be a glass cannon, or do you want, you know, to be able to absolutely, oh, I've got a skill point, that's lovely. Or do you want to be able to, you know, just absolutely withstand all the damage? Because I imagine when it comes to like raids and stuff like that, like Hulk's going to be the obvious choice for a tank.
I think it might depend on your upgrade tree as well, yeah, how you build your character, because I get Thor's not a weak Avenger. Like, he considers himself to be the strongest Avenger.
All right. Oh, that's a lot of enemies. However, I have a laser beam. Haha. And then I also have this ability, which does stuff. There we go. So it kind of stuns them, and then you can go in, do your combo moves. That's another thing. People on Reddit have been making their own like combo lists for characters, because you've got all these different abilities and all these different ways to use them, that now people are coming up with their own like little combos. I think it's quite interesting, because, you know, it's not a fighting game in its primary element, but, you know, it's interesting to see people actually do that. Right? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the loot system works, because it's really satisfying getting a legendary drop on Destiny and seeing the abilities that it has. So it'll be interesting just to kind of see if this is going to be as satisfying, to be honest, because I know there's certain games where you get loot and it doesn't really feel like anything, because it just feels like a power increase with nothing added to it. So I guess, I guess we'll see. I know that we will be playing through the game. I don't know to what extent we will be playing it yet. I don't know if we're going to do a full walkthrough or if we're just going to do a few Twitch streams, but it'll be interesting to obviously compare our thoughts that we have now to the eventual end game. So
definitely some Twitch streams, and
the
you can go and follow our
eventual
new
end
Twitch.
game.
Yeah, you can go and follow. Oh, for God's sake! But yes, you can go and follow our brand new Twitch channel,
BGFG Twitch. Yeah, we'll put in a link in the description. We're definitely going to be starting to stream them soon, which is exciting. We've been wanting to do this for a while. I've been pitching this idea since the start of the business, like 10 months ago. So it's great to finally put it into fruition. This would be a lot easier if we actually had 4 human players, but we decided to play with some AI just to test out what they're like. One thing that's worth noting, the way that you build. So if you request your 2 characters, it'll actually be the way you've customized them. So this is another thing. If you don't want to play with a team, you can simulate. So you can have your 4 characters. So you can fully build out 4, for example, and you can make him like a tank if it's possible, and then have him on your team. Because when you request a companion, it actually puts your build in rather than just, you know, like a filler AI character. So that means you're able to, obviously you're only be playing 1 character in that mission, but you will have your kind of roster of characters in the mission with you. So it's an interesting little take that they've got. So it's interesting that they're kind of like taking that route for people, you know, who don't want to play with their friends, or maybe their friends don't get Avengers, because I know out of my friends it's going to be...
They just don't have any friends.
Well, you know what? That's okay. Gaming is an escapism for people to do whatever they want to do. I personally only really enjoy playing games these days. If I'm playing with friends, I kind of like that.
Keep tuned for the Fall Guys.
Yeah, very much stay tuned for Fall Guys. But I think that's when I enjoy gaming. When it's like Ghost of Tsushima and games like that, where it's a fully single player experience, is a bit different. But if there's games that have an optional multiplayer, I kind of enjoy them a lot more when I'm playing with friends. I mean, that's just me, but then other people, you know, if they like coming home from work and not having to talk to anyone, they can go and play video games on their own. So you have that option, and you can, you know, you don't have to feel limited because, you know, your character is playing with these 3 absolute awful characters that have been simulated by the computer. Because I know that we've been playing this mission, and, you know, Captain Marvel and, oh, who's even on our team? Yeah, Mrs. Marvel and Black Widow, they've been holding their own.
It's not Mrs. Marvel. She's a strong, independent woman. She does not need no man. You know what I found out the other day? I now weigh the exact same that Conor McGregor weighed when he faced Jose Aldo. It's just because I'm like a foot taller, so my muscle is just everywhere. Oh,
so it stretches. You're basically a stretchy human. Yeah, so you're basically Miss Marvel. Well, I was going to say more Miss Marvel. You're more feminine.
Oh, okay. I was going with the male version. But
we do hope you enjoyed the video. This game comes out September 1st, I believe. But this is a small preview of the ultimate endgame. You know, it's going to get a lot better than what we're seeing now. We're going to have more characters, more accessible skills. I feel like that skill tree isn't going to be the full skill tree. I feel like that's going to be expanded, if I'm perfectly honest. So anyway, that has been the Marvel Avengers beta. We do hope you enjoyed. I have been Jay.
I'm Elliot.
And we'll see you in the next video.